The Barricade 3.5-inch oval bull bar with the formed skid plate in black is for those of you that have a 2018 and up JL that has a factory front bumper on it, that are looking to change up the look of the front of your Jeep, as well as adding just a little bit of additional protection. This is going to be a nice easy 1 out of 3 wrench bolt-on installation, and I'm going to show you how to do that in just a second. So this is going to add a little bit of protection to the Jeep. You have this little bit of a skid plate here, even though there's not a lot to protect in that area of the Jeep, unless you have a Rubicon with one of those electronic sway bar disconnects, it is going to offer a little bit of protection to that area. And up in this region here, it is going to add a big metal piece in front of your otherwise plastic front bumper. So again, a little bit of additional protection there. However, if you do go off-road and you bash this thing off of a bunch of rocks, it is certainly going to get dinged up and dented up. So don't be surprised if you are somebody who does a lot of wheeling, if you put this on your Jeep, if it does sustain some sort of damage. This is really going to be more of an aesthetic modification than anything else. It's going to be a way to change up the look of the front of your Jeep without changing out the entire bumper, which is usually a much more expensive modification. This is a little bit unique in the fact that it is an oval bull bar. A lot of the other ones are round, so it gives it a little bit more of a modern look, but overall a bull bar is going to be one of those more retro styled mods, at least in my opinion. If that's what you're looking for though, I do think this is going to be a pretty high quality option for you. It is going to be very well built. It's made out of a nice high grade material. It does have this little bit of a skid plate here, which again, not a ton of protection, but does give a little bit more of a finished look. And this is going to be that nice simple install that I already mentioned. For all of that, you are going to pay right around that $200 mark, which again, I think is pretty fair for the quality that you're getting here. So if you are looking for a bull bar to change up the look of your Jeep, I think this one is going to be pretty fairly priced and a pretty high quality option. So 1 out of 3 wrenches, let's get into it.
Tools used for this installation are as follows. We have a nut driver with a 8mm socket, or you can use a ratchet, a panel removal tool, a 13mm wrench, and a 16mm wrench. All right, now let's get started with the installation of our new bull bar on the front of our JL Jeep. And as you can see, I have it up on a lift, completely unnecessary. But I'm doing this so it makes it easier for me to show you at home how to put this together. Now we're going to begin by removing our splash guard. Unfortunately, with our new bull bar, we will not be able to keep our splash guard mounted on our Jeep. But it comes off fairly easy. There's 2 8mm screws underneath, and then a few clips along here. They come off very simply with just a panel pry tool. Pop that down, get it out of the way. I'll show you how to get the brackets on, and we'll go ahead and mount our new bull bar to our brackets. So our 8mm socket, go ahead. And these 2 mounting screws out of the way here. All right, next we're going to use our panel pry tool. We're going to come along the front of here underneath of our bumper and just pop these tabs out, and we can get our splash guard out. There's about 8 of them all together to get out. They pop out really easy. You just pop down the outer piece, and the whole clip comes right out. Now we're ready to install our bolt and nut plate into the end of our frame rail here. And the way they want you to do it is go up through the bottom, but that will require moving this extra plate. That's more tools you need. I actually found a different way of doing it. If we actually go in through the top hole and slide it down, we'll actually get the stud to stick out from here, and we'll have the threaded hole to line up here. Once we get that in, we're gonna put this small clear keeper on there to keep this in place from sliding back out while we're getting our brackets in place. Now everything we just did here on our driver's side, we're gonna move over to our passenger side and repeat the exact same process. Nothing changes from side to side. Now with our nut plate inserted, we can go ahead and get our bracket on. And go ahead and just hang that off the stud there. And with our bolt washer and lock washer in the kit, we go ahead and line up our threaded hole here. Get that started. Then we can go ahead and get our washer, lock washer, and new nut from the kit. Insert those on the stud. And we're just gonna leave all of that loose on there until we get everything installed and we can go back and tighten it up. All right, now that we're ready to get our bull bar up into place, we're gonna go ahead and get the help of a friend and just lift it up. We're gonna line it up with our bracket and install the 2 bolts that come in the kit on each side. Don't forget your washers and lock washers. Now with a 13mm wrench, we're gonna go ahead and tighten up the bolts that attach our bull bar to the brackets. After that, we're gonna use a 16mm wrench and adjust the bull bar up nice and straight, and then we'll tighten up our stud and our bolt that we inserted earlier that hold our brackets to our frame. And we're just gonna do that on both sides, and once everything's tight, we'll be done. Now down here on the ground, you can see how our new bull bar looks on the front of our Jeep. Now for more parts and videos like these, make sure you visit us at ExtremeTerrain.com.